Hello students, this is Veena, Assistant Professor in the Department of English, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today, we are going to talk about the effectiveness of speaking skills. What is the importance which is played by the speaking skills in making your communication skills effective? How is that your speaking skills are going to look effective, accurate, and also look very pleasing and appealing towards others? How is that you're going to make your communication skills more effective with the usage of good speaking skills? Let us try to understand the significance and the importance of the speaking skills to make your communication skills more better and effective. Let us get started. Here, what are speaking skills? Before we talk about speaking skills, let us try to understand what is that which is very, very important to make your communication skills more better. As you all already know that it is the 4 pillars, that is listening, speaking, reading, writing, constitute the growth of the communication skills and make it enhance your abilities in communicating with others. Now, what is the role played by speaking skills? How much percentage does it contribute for the effective growth of your good communication skills is very important. As we already spoke, listening skills are very important because only when you understand, only when you listen to somebody, you can respond and speak to the person in a proper way and in an effective way. Of course, listening skills is the most important among all the 4 skills because the ability to understand, encode and decode the process of the language happens only when you are an effective listener. So, the listening process is the input for your communication. So, therefore, when you take your input, you have to give out the output. For that, you have to learn good speaking skills. So, both of them play equal role in the way of making the betterment of your communication skills more and more better and efficient. So, try to understand the role, try to understand what are the chief characteristics, what are the key elements which are very, very essential when it comes to speaking skills. Now, speaking skills give us ability to convey information verbally and in a way that the listener can understand. What is the speaking skill? That it is the ability to communicate with others verbally, with the use of the language, with the use of the words. It can also be done informal way of gestures, informal way of projecting the body expressions. But the key role is played through the verbal ability of communication. The effective verbal communication gives that tact and they give that confidence in you to have a good communication over the things happening around you. For that, you have to develop that ability of good communication skill such that your efficiency can be portrayed through your communication and your knowledge, intelligence can also be portrayed through the speaking skill. Speaking is an act of making vocal sounds. We all know that speaking is nothing but it is an act of making sounds. It is the area which completely relays, which completely depends on the sounds which has come from your vocal cords. Maybe it is your lips, maybe it is the way you use your tongue, maybe it's the way you use your Adam's apple. So the sound, the language of the sound which comes out through your vocal cords is your speaking ability. Now, how efficiently you are molding your vocal cords, how efficiently you are using them, how you are molding yourself to train to talk to others and give out that proper voice, vocal inclination while talking is more important, such that your speaking ability grows more and more better and also effective. We can say that speaking means to converse or expressing one's thoughts and feelings in spoken language. It is nothing but whatever ideas we confront with, whatever thoughts we have in ourselves, whatever feelings we want to express it to others, that is where the ability to speak, the zeal to speak arouses. So, the major criteria to speak out is that you are going to express your thoughts, you are going to express your views, you are going to project your suggestions, or you are going to give some conclusions. It can be any kind of source, any kind of need which will make you to speak to others, which will make you to communicate to others. Then, speaking skills are the skills that give us the ability to communicate effectively. So, to make proper communication, to communicate effectively, speaking is the major skill which will portray you in front of others, which will show you, project your personality, project your behavior to the others through its speaking ability. Now, let us try to understand what is the effectiveness, what is the impact, what are the essential elements of your speaking skills. First element, first essential thing which you need is the audience. Try to understand that the audience are not your enemies. The most important thing which you have to remember before you start talking to others is that they are not your enemies. You are trying to put forth your words, and they are going to understand it. The way you put forth your feelings, the way you render your feelings, that is where you will project yourself and try to make others understand while speaking. Don't completely think or preoccupy some assumptions, thinking that the other person will not understand me. How can you assume that unless you don't make him understand what you're feeling? So don't ever try to think like that. Always try to think positive, have a positive atmosphere around you, try to create that positive vibe among your audience such that they reciprocate with you in the same way and they understand your skill of speaking. The reason why many people avoid public speaking is because they have a fear of it. They are scared. How will some person understand me? How will they take me? How will they be able to understand my gestures? Will they be able to understand my language? If they understand too, are they going to understand in the way I understood? All these fears. First thing you should wipe out from yourself is the fear to face the audience. Be clarified. Be specific of what you are thinking. Try to project it in front of others. You should not have that scare. You should not have that fear in you to converse with others. This is the first and foremost barrier which you have to overcome. The fear to talk to others. The fear to confront a group. No. What is there? They are also common people like us. They too have feelings. They too have the illusions. They too have the assumptions. So try to understand the situation. Don't preoccupy your mind thinking that they are your enemies and they are not going to understand you. All those stuff keep aside. Try to develop that confidence to talk to others, try to converse to others, try to put your point in specific such that everyone who converse with you will understand and will reciprocate and respond to you in the same way. Next come, write your speech word for word. When you are preparing yourself to give out a speech in front of a large group of audience, or even it is in front of a small group in the way of a small PPT presentation or any such thing to cater the needs of your organization, see that you write your speech beforehand. Prepare your speech, plan your speech before itself, such that there will not be any confusions, and you will also plan your speech in a logical and stepwise manner, and it is understood to the others in a way you want them to understand. Have that zeal, have that enthusiasm. Good planning will make your speech look more better and authentic, and it also creates that confidence in you to speak out in front of the others. Then bring life to your words with colorful images and examples. So don't ever try to just go on give a lecture. Try to add color to the words. Try to add that vocabulary which will appeal, which will please the audience, which will really make your vocabulary look beautiful. When you're talking to others, they must be tended towards you. They must have that intention to listen to you, such that you develop your vocabulary, such that you develop your fluency. See that the way you reciprocate will appeal others, will please others, and it will grasp their attention and interest. For that, you're going to add colors to your words, you're going to add some examples, narrate some story in the way of examples, but it should not be out of the box. Whatever you're talking, it should completely abide by the situation, abide by the talking which you are informing or speaking out in front of the others. Then comes 6 words that can change the way you speak. Make a point. Tell a story. Now, what is that you're going to say? You're not completely going to write an emotional message. You're going to create examples, write the stories, and you will make yourself appeal to the others. Then 6 emotions that will connect with any audience. What are those 6 emotions which we are going to connect to our audience? Happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, disgust, and fear. These are the 6 emotions which you usually try to communicate with others. You try to share your happiness. You try to share your sad moments, or you try to share your anger. You try to surprise somebody. You try to just don't please someone, disgust, and fear someone. These are certain emotions which are usually used when you are conversing the other person, conversing with the family, conversing with the friends, conversing on the professional platform with your colleagues. Any one kind of mood can be there, but still, how is that you're going to make that adaptability to create your expression or thought such that others will not get affected with your speaking? See that your language will not make others feel low or down, such that it will create any misunderstanding between you and your audience. Then, do not underestimate the power of laughter. It is always important to add that chill of humor in your talk. Always try to make others smile. But before that, you have to relax yourself. You have to give a soothing smile. You have to reflect that emotion, reflect that smile, such that your speaking will attract others. That smile has all the power to attract and grasp the interest of the audience. Then, do not tell us, take us. What does this mean? You're not describing the event. You are making the audience involved in the event. Just talking about the event is different. Making them involve and stand in the same shoes to understand the situation is different. So, see that you don't tell. Take them to that situation and portray that situation as it is as you are delivering. Describing is different, but making the audience stand in the same place, experience that phenomenon of that particular situation is different. So, your talk must create that phenomena which will make the audience stand, understand, empathize the situation or moment which you are explaining it to them. So, these are very, very essential elements to make your speaking skill effective. Now, see here, public speaking. What are the things which are involved in public speaking? What are the things which you have to think over? Let us see. First, you have to understand your audience. What kind of audience, which kind of audience are going to address, are going to present in the auditorium while you are going to give a speech. Understand your audience. Then meeting. The environment of the meeting must be calculated. You must be able to adapt yourself to that environment of the meeting. Try to understand the relevant instructions or the relevant criteria which is needed for that particular speaking ability at that particular point of time. Then stage. Understand. Get acquainted with the stage where you are standing and giving out a speech. Then training. You have to practice, train yourself in such a way that you don't look clumsy in front of others or your language does not suit to the need of that particular purpose. See, that train and practice will make you more confident, more effective to learn your language ability. Then comes your presentation. You are going to give your presentation with all the confidence, with good practice, understanding your audience, understanding the atmosphere of your stage and getting acquainted to it. Then your communication. Once you start presentation, it is your communication which will attract and grasp the attention of the audience. So, for better and effective communication, you must be a good listener and you must be a good speaker. So, first understand the situation, communicate with good language skills, use good vocabulary, see that whatever vocabulary you are using are suiting the needs of that purpose of the speech which you have taken up. Then gestures. The gestures, the body postures, the way you make your facial expression, the way you talk, the way you mold yourself in front of others, the way you stand, the way you make the gestures of your hand or nod your head, all these things will be noticed by your audience. So see that you make proper positive gestures and create that positivity among the audience. Then speech. See that your speech is accurate and it is reaching to the audience with all its concise meaning and sense, such that only they will be interested to know about it or listen to it. Then anxiety and performance. Don't be excited. Don't have that fear over the things. Try to talk specific, brief, and communicate whatever you want to talk to the others. So these are all main elements which you have to concentrate before you go on to the stage and give a public speaking. These all things may be a minute thing and they are unseen. We generally only prepare the speech. We never think about what kind of audience are going to present, where you are going to stand, the stage where you are going to stand is convenient to you or not, and the gestures of the body. Will you really understand and consciously remember what kind of gestures you made on the stage? No. So, for that only, keep all these things in your mind before you prepare for a public speech. It is very, very important to develop yourself in all these aspects to give good public speech. Then, effectiveness of speaking skills. Now, how can your speaking skills look effective? How will they look very, very authentic, accurate and brief and concise and look effective among the others and make you stand unique among the others. Now, ability to inform, persuade and direct. It is your ability to render your message, your ability to persuade others to gain the interest over the topic which you are talking and direct them in the right way of understanding the topic makes the effectiveness of your speech. How is that you are going to inform the message? How is that you are going to persuade them to understand you? And how is that you are taking all the audience along with you in that same direction to project that sentence or the story in the correct conclusion? So, this is the first and foremost quality which you have to possess to make your speaking ability effective. Now, ability to inform, persuade and direct. Business managers, educators, military leaders, lawyers, politicians, among others, seeks to develop their speaking skills to such a level that they are transformed into master communicators. The way you command over your language, the way you mold your language according to the situation on time, the way you inform, the way you persuade, the way you show your assertive behavior with clarity and the confidence within you. These are the two most important elements which your speech must and should have. That is the clarity and the confidence. Your confidence will project your personality. The behavioral attitude of your body concerns, the behavioral personality of yourself within yourself to will completely portray in front of others when you speak to others. Then, ability to stand out from the rest. This is what is the most important aspect which you have to remember. How is that you are going to look that special person from the group? There are many groups in your organization, many teams in the organization, but how is that you will make the essence of your presence? How is that you're going to stand unique among others is the way you develop your communication skills. You may be having lot of knowledge. You maybe have acquired lot of intelligence over the things, over the projects. But when will that all be projected? It will be projected only when you have good and effective communication skills, when you have good ability to inform, to persuade and to direct your teams in the way they are to be guided. So, to look unique from that group, you must have the ability to stand out with good communication skill. As a leader, you should stand up with all the ability of and also possess the qualities of a good listener and as well as a good speaker. When one thinks of speaking skills, one tends to think of it as common skills. Of course, what is there? We talk. Since childhood, we are talking. What is there that much important, specific to concentrate on? It may be a common skill, but to master over it, to make it effective is very tough task. Many people are deathly afraid of public speaking, isn't it? Many of them are scared to talk about others. We have that idea, we have that capability, but still we are scared. The day you overcome this fear, the day you make yourself stand in front of others with all that confidence and express your views and thoughts, then you will be an effective speaker. Then, career enhancement. Effective speaking skills helps you in making your career enhanced. It helps you in the growth and development of your professional career because it is the most important skill which contributes for the effective communication skill and helps you in develop your professional needs and also develop that good rapport and build that good relationship among your family members, peer groups, and also in the workspace. So, speaking skills helps you in making your career enhancement. Then, verbal and non-verbal skills. They are so strongly affected by person's values, beliefs, and attitudes. So, whenever you converse, whether it is verbally or non-verbally, it is very, very important to make use of good language. Don't talk anything negative. Don't talk anything which will offend the other people. Try to project your values, your culture, your tradition. Your personality must be the mirror of portraying good values and your attitude. So when you talk in a verbal way or non-verbal way, it is your personal values, tradition and culture in the environment you are grown up will be projected. So you must be very careful enough to integrate all those values with all the confidence and zeals and make others understand them in the way you need it. Then verbal conversation. Of course, speaking skills is the most importantly verbal conversation. How you use your language, the spoken words, the oral communication wherein the message transmitted through the spoken words. It is the words, the language, what you talk to others. How is that you are going to present your language to the others is your speaking ability. Here the sender, that is you, are going to give out your feelings, thoughts, ideas, opinions and expresses them in the form of speeches, discussions, presentations and conversations. So, you either speak, you either discuss, you either converse or you are presenting. However, here the speaking ability takes the first place. What kind of words you are going to use? How is that you are going to project your body language? How is that you are going to perform and inform your topic? And how is that you are going to persuade and take the audience with you and create that audience is your verbal communication. So try to have that mastery over the verbal communication such that your communication looks more effective and they help in the growth of your organization and as well as your professional life. And for example, in the case of verbal communication, the feedback is immediate since there are simulations in the transmissions of the receipt of the message. So when you are talking something, of course you have to get ready to reciprocate the response of the other person. It is immediate. If you are writing a letter, it is not an immediate, isn't it? But when you are conversing, when you are talking to somebody, the feedback is immediate. So you must accept that too. You cannot say that I am talking, it's my chance, so I will only give the conclusions. No, when you are setting up yourself to talk to others, be ready to take it, to take the response and the feedback from the others too. You should have that quality to take up, to acquire that interest, to take the the reaction of the other person when you are talking. Speaking ability of an individual have listening skills. So, it completely depends on the listening skill, isn't it? When I am talking, if you are unable to understand it, if you are unable to listen to it, how is that you are going to respond? So, listening and speaking are interconnected with you. So, when you are aspiring to be a good speaker, that means you should be ready to become an active listener and a good listener, because only when you are a good listener, you will be able to understand the situation, you will be able to understand the criteria of the things and you can respond it to the other person in a very authentic and effective manner. So these are all very important aspects. Then, how effectively an individual listens to the subject matter decides the effectiveness of the communication. When you are listening keenly, then you can effectively communicate to others. So, the verbal communication is applicable in both the formal and informal kind of situations. So, try to make acquainted with the situation where it is important. Try to understand yourself. Try to place yourself in a very accommodative position and try to talk to others. When it comes to normal verbal communication and speaking skills, you talk about the gestures of your facial expressions, you talk about the eye contact, you talk about the hand gestures, you talk about the postures, body movements and the touch. See that whenever you communicate to others, you portray that good way of communication with good gestures and posture which indicate that positiveness in you. Then, what are the ways to develop this effective speaking skills? How can we develop this effective communication skills? What is the criteria? How can you do it? These are some of the tips which are going to understand. Speaking skills, especially effective public speaking skills, are important as listening skills. I already spoke to you. It is as important as listening skills. When you can listen, you can speak. They form an integral part of interpersonal communication. So, first way of making your speaking skills effective is you have to become a good listener. That is, it also plays the increasing role of social and emotional learning. You should understand, have acquaintance over your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs, be a good listener and also have good communication over it. Then, first one, confidence. How can you develop your speaking skills effectively? Develop that confidence. Build that confidence. Calm yourself on. When you're standing in front of public, don't get nervous. Don't make yourself have that equipment of anxiety. Put over all the barriers aside and try to talk in a specific, logical and concise manner. See that you create the eye-to-eye contact with your audience or a single individual conversation. Have the zeal of the confidence. Equip your thoughts. You equip your ability to talk with that confidence is the most important aspect. Then, authenticity. Your speech must be authentic. What is authentic? Suitable to that particular purpose. Whatever you are talking must be authentic. You cannot talk something which is not irrelevant to that particular situation and place. Be authentic. Use that proper authentic modulation of voice such that others feel the gist, the enthusiasm, the keen interest of your words into their speaking. So try to inculcate these two qualities. Then comes voice modulation. Your voice modulation must enhance according to the time progress. If you are just in one tone, it will create that boring situation in the audience. It has to develop that rapport of changing the voice modulations to create the interest among your audience. If you don't want to sound boring, pay attention to the way you speak. When you talk in a monotonous tone, that means in the same tone, it may sound robotic and mechanical. It will look as if you are just reading out something. It will look robotic and mechanical. Now, you want your audience to be engaged. So, try to use different techniques of your voice modulation to make that possible and create that interest in the audience. Then, changing the pace, speed with which you speak. It should be neither too fast nor too slow. It must be with the mediocre speed and it should enhance the ability of the speech what you are giving. Take pauses before conveying an important point. Don't go on, give the list of important points in a order. Take some gap between the every important point such that it is understood to the audience. Change the pitch of your voice. When it has to be low, make it low. When it has to be high, make it high. Then change the volume of your voice occasionally to create that emphasis. Next point, and the very important point, is connect with your audience. Connect yourself with the audience. See that whatever you're talking is creating interest in the audience. See that they ask you questions. See that respond to their questions. I take the pauses in between and try to have the interaction with the audience for good communication and making your speech more effective. Next, work on your body language, which is very, very important. See that your body language is appealing and pleasing and creating that positive notion among everyone who are trying to attend your speech. Some of the key aspects should be standing upright. See that you stand straight and upright. Arms relaxed on the sides. Don't stand stiff. Just relax yourself and stand erect, maintaining eye contact with the audience. Then try avoiding leaning on the leg or doing unusual gestures. You should not portray any kind of unusual gestures. Then watch recordings of your speech for more and more betterment in good communication skills. Try to watch your videos. How your body language was. Was it authentic? Was it suitable? If there are any mistake, develop that corrections in yourself to make your speech and the communication more effective. Listen to your recorded speech and try to look at it in the form of audience perspective. If you're giving an audio speech, try to listen to the audio. See that how you have made the voice modulations. Did you carry on the mood? Did you carry on the situation of the purpose? Which will the audience understand? Just think and reflect as an audience to that speech. That will surely enhance your ability to communicate with others in a very good and effective manner. Now, effective public skills can help with career advancement. Why we are asking you develop this public speaking skills? Because this is the trend of communication. It is the mode of communication which will place you in a right place and helps you in good development and projects and gives that vast development and exposure in your career. So have effective communication skills for the good and betterment and for the growth of your professional life in your workspace. So try to adapt all these tips and make your speaking skills effective such that your communication skills too become very, very effective and help you in the growth of your professional life and your career. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.